Hello and welcome to the Arena Sports Show. My name is Clauiee Grace Mpanza. Absolutely excited to have you alongside us. Well, if you do follow the show regularly, you do know that I am a petrol head, and today's episode is absolutely exciting because we've got a motorsport segment, and I'm looking forward to, of course, to diving into this conversation. We'll start it off with that and then kick it over to football, where we're joined by Itumeleng Khune. But to introduce the gentlemen with us now to talk all things motorsports, they come all the way from KTM WP Centurion. It is Troy and Thomas Tonking. It is a father-son duo. We'll be talking all things motorsport. The reason why there's a bike next to me, you might be like, ooh, new deco. Nope, you actually get to see her ride on track, which is absolutely fantastic. And of course, alongside them is my favorite influencer, Mahlatse Mphahlele. Troy, we'll start with you because you're my favorite from, of course, the gents. How you doing? Talk to us about this beauty and really what you think makes it special.
I'm very good, and you?
I'm fantastic, thank you.
That's good. I don't know, it's just fast. That's what probably makes it the best.
Yeah.
I really like going fast, and that's always fun.
Goodness gracious, going fast at it and getting hurt while you're at
Well,
it.
we don't plan on that. We're trying to avoid that a bit.
But Mahlatse, I mean, talk to us about your first impression when you saw the bike. I wish I could show the viewer your expression that you had.
Yeah, I was impressed, surprised at the same time. It's a beast. It's a skinny guy like this. I mean, to manage this thing, it must be quite a challenge,
Teenager, you mean? But Thomas, I mean, he's been riding from a very young age. I'm interested to find out, the first time he told you that he wants to continue doing it, how was your reaction?
No, I was always happy with that. I felt it's good for his development as a human being. And I felt that he had a passion which would give him a sense of identity in his life. And for sure, racing was a natural thing almost for us. We come from a background of no racing, actually. And we kind of picked it up as we've come along. We've picked it up in the pit. Lots of guys have come alongside us and helped us in our endeavors. And for sure, we're getting better at it, but we still got a long way to go in this journey.
And we'll definitely be talking about the journey in just a bit. But for now, let's find out what's been happening in your top stories.
Orlando Pirates coach Jose Rivero is honored to receive plaudits from fellow coaches in the Betway Premiership as he prepares to leave the club after 3 successful years. Cricket South Africa CSA has awarded 18 national and 2 hybrid contracts for the Proteas men's squad for the 2025-26 season. Titans have appointed Ravish Gobind as their coach to replace Mandla Mashimbi, who has joined the Proteas women.
With so much happening in the world of sport, it always makes it a tad difficult to try and choose your star of the week. We'll start with Troy. Troy, who has impressed you in the past few days?
I'm a big Formula 1 fan, so seeing Max Verstappen win again makes me quite happy. Because
Really?
I'm a very big fan, so seeing him win makes me a bit happy.
Oh man, it's so unfortunate how his car is not as fast, but impressive that he's still getting the results,
Yes,
right?
definitely.
Man, love that. And then what about you, Tom?
Oh, just to see my son race was actually the deal.
Oh man, I actually want to talk about that influencer. The interesting thing about Troy is that he had a little bit of a whoopsie that he was talking to us about. I mean, I
I'm
think
told that's why the bike is facing that way, because there's a scratch on the other side.
No, we're not talking about that.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, the race weekend that he had, finishing on the podium, talk to us about that, Tom.
We started riding on the track on Wednesday already. We needed to practice because we didn't have enough time on the track. And we started to set good times. And then Wednesday afternoon late, after a car session, he had a high side on some oil on the road, and he really fell hard. The bike was pretty much destroyed. And the whole pit around us just got together and helped us build the bike. We were so despondent when this happened because we knew we could do well. We really felt good about it. And from about 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening, guys helped us build. The next morning, they still helped us build. We got guys together who brought parts. We needed a new clock, handlebars, a lot of stuff. And they just brought it to us and helped us. And that spirit of Ubuntu in our pit, it's just next level.
It
So
definitely is.
to see Troy actually get back on the bike in spite of his injury on his foot was great. I think we finished the weekend well. We had higher expectations for ourselves.
Yeah.
But if we look at it on the whole from where we came and how it ended, I believe we did well.
I definitely do believe so as well. Influencer, who impressed you in the past few days?
Yeah, I'll go with football. I think I'm going to sound like a stuck record now.
Yeah, who are you choosing?
This Orlando Pirates kid, Mbogas.
Yeah.
He continues to impress. You know, another man of the match performance over the weekend, and I think we've got same as him. I think we've got a star in the making here. You know, very very good for him, and I think may it continue.
Definitely, that's what we'd love to see. And I mean, Troy, we talk about you getting injured, but I mean, when you look at a track like Aldo Scribante, we were talking about it, I mean, in Kyalami and how you enjoy riding there. Just the characteristic of the track and really from a riding perspective. And I mean, your dad talks about the Ubuntu part. I see it as well amongst the riders. You and Aura have a great relationship walking up and down the paddock. So talk to us about that element as well.
It always makes racing a bit more enjoyable when you've got close friends that you're racing with. That makes it more fun and exciting. Because if I make like a mean pass on them, there won't be any bad emotions about it.
Yeah.
We're all friends, so it makes it more enjoyable, definitely.
And the track?
The tracks, it's a bit bumpy, but it's fast. It's very, very fast. I enjoy it. I do quite enjoy it.
Sure. And then when we rewind a little bit from when you started riding, did you always know it's what you wanted to do? Talk to us about really your story and how you got into riding.
Initially, I was riding dirt, and then I actually quite enjoyed playing cricket. That was my thing. I wanted to play cricket, I want to be next AB de Villiers. That was the plan.
What?
Yeah. And
Nice.
then I woke up and realized bikes are better.
Actually, can I add to that? It started with Brad and Darren Binder. And Darren spent a whole lot of time with Troy once at a wet track and gave Troy a lesson when he was barely 11 years of age on a wet track. And we thought, well, this is going to be fun. So we spoke about it and we entered with a guy called Neil Harron, who always had the 100cc NSF bikes there. And our lives really started out of that place. And it was really from that point that we knew we're going to give this thing a go.
Just from my side, you operate in a space where there's always pressure to do well and that kind of thing. And for somebody of your age, does it get you sometimes that, you know, there's just too much pressure?
Sometimes it does, and then I just have to realize that I'm trying to like do it for the good cause, and I need to calm down and I need to focus essentially. Can't let the pressure get to me.
And the support from Timer?
As his
No.
dad, I do chase him around a bit.
Yeah.
For sure, we have a relationship where both of us are learning valuable lessons in life, and we just don't give up on it. We get through a fence because we know there's a greater good at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And for sure, we're part of a wonderful community, which is good for us. And we love doing bikes. I love to see my son race.
We definitely do. And I mean, Troy, you're at school. I was listening to Kimi and Tanelli talking about, I'm trying to finish school and I'm racing too. How is that for you?
I just don't go to school anymore pretty much.
Really?
I miss so much, yeah.
It's
a problem.
Yeah, it is a bit of a problem. Like we should be at school today. And
I'm not going to be at school on
it's
Thursday.
a lot more fun, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
You won't be on school on Thursday. Where are you going?
to the track.
Yeah. I can
Teachers
imagine.
okay with this?
No, they kind of need to
We
be.
practice with Temba, Coach Temba, who's a wonderful rider
True.
and a super sweet personality, and he has a lot of influence on guys at the track. And our time with him is always special, so we learn.
Sure.
And we need time for that. We can't. It's not the sport we're doing is not a sport that you can just occasionally go.
Yeah.
You have to. It's a constant deal.
And then while you're at it, Tom, talk to us about the specs on this bike.
This is a 600 super bike, so we race in that series. You can race a 4-cylinder, a triple 800, or a twin 900 in the series, and it's basically in line with World Supersport rules. Our series is becoming a national series with Wayne Riddell now. The rules are not completely defined. For sure they will be defined next year. But in the pit, we are all on a similar level of machinery mostly. And we just love to compete together most of our motorcycles are like this. Last year we came second in the series using a KTM 890 Duke, which is essentially a road bike that is as a sit-up style. And we found that we couldn't really prepare that to a level where we could be competitive.
For sure.
And we found here on the R6 we have a more competitive platform. We are looking to put a more competitive platform than this into the series, but we are waiting to see how that's going to pan out. That's in our near future, the next 3 months or so.
For sure.
The stuff you explain is quite complex. In my mind, I'm asking myself, I mean, what are the costs involved in doing this thing? Must be a hell of expensive.
I think the cost, it depends on what kind of bank balance you have. But to sustain this over a year is probably in the region of about 500 to 800,000 rand. And for sure, if we want to be competitive, we need to put money into it. You can't really arrive at the track and not have good tires or a good setup or good mechanic that's supporting you. Where we are, because we are quite new in it, we are supported by a couple of mechanics that get involved with us. Ricky Maras, Alfie Swanepoel or Monet Geldenays, just to name 3 guys that really have had an influence in our lives. And we glean a lot of information from them. And out of that, we go ahead. At the business, I have my partner, Vasco Barbolini, who really is a stalwart in terms of building the bike again after an accident and getting us going. So we really have a community around us getting us going. I think if we ever, which is our plan, if we ever got into a top-line European sport, MotoGP, Moto2, we have a lot of guys to thank around us who have helped us to get to this place.
Troy, I want to talk to you now about the dynamics of having your dad around on race day, how that is, and really some special moments and a bit of funny parts, because I asked this, it's a tradition here on our show, that we always need to get some funny moments from our athletes. So perhaps you can share a few. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you did that, Dad.
Sometimes, like when we're a bit of a stress situation, we're rushing, we forget to put tire warmers on, like physically turn them on, which is a problem because you really need them. Without them, it's not a good combination.
True.
So occasionally we forget to turn them on, and then we realize 10 minutes before the session, the tires are cold.
That is
It's
terrible.
No.
That's a deep trouble situation.
But clearly you've learned, because it can alarm me when I know every time, moment you stop, you put them on, which was great to see. But when you go now and looking into your future, what you're hoping to achieve, share some of the dreams that you have, in terms of motorsport for you.
So within the next year, I want to go to Spain. That's the plan. First to go to Spain, race in Spain, and then hopefully to go into either World Supersport or Moto2. After that, MotoGP or World Superbikes. That's the initial plan.
Who's your ultimate rider? Who do you think encompasses the perfect skill set?
I do quite like Brad Binder, especially because he's South African, that helps. He's very good. Also like Marc Marquez, because he's winning and you can see he's fast. So that's the plan, to be competitive with those guys.
If you had to choose between the two, between Brad and Marc?
Probably Marc. He's probably a little bit better. He's also on a bit better machinery, but it's got 6 world titles, so I'll take it.
You mentioned Rossi, the legend.
No.
I think Tom maybe would mention. But I mean, gentlemen, before we wrap it up, the lovely thing about, motorsport, you talk about the unity. What are some of the challenges, Tom? I mean, I guess you can also speak on that in terms of racing and making sure that you're competitive throughout the year.
There are a number of challenges. There's the financial aspect of keeping the machine running and keeping the show going. There's the challenge of being injury-free, and if you are injured, to get attention quickly to solve a problem fast, hopefully. And then there's the challenge of time. You got to practice, and we need to actually practice with our competitors. We don't like practicing alone. We prefer to ride with guys. We find if we collaborate with them, we can help them faster and they help us faster.
True.
And I mean, those are challenges. Nothing is insurmountable. We just keep giving it a go. We keep walking. the famous saying, keep walking, and that's our deal. We don't stop.
And we saw that actually. It's interesting. While we were on track, you mentioned Atemba Khumalo, and the interesting thing about him, he got injured, went to surgery, following day back in commentary. So that mentality amongst you guys that clearly it's nothing. Is that trained throughout the years? Is that a conversation to say, you take a knock, but you just got to keep going?
Yeah, you kind of have to. Else you're just wasting time if you don't.
Have you ever had a bad injury?
Yeah, I've had a few. Last year I had a bad concussion. That was annoying because I felt quite useless because I just sat at home for like 4 weeks and I couldn't do anything.
Oh, no.
That was quite terrible.
Feeling useless for 4 weeks. I don't like
Yeah,
that. No. All right, so we're going to have to wrap it up here. But, I mean, just parting note maybe from you, Thomas. I mean, you mentioned some of the guys that back you guys and the family support as well.
Your family, it's important also just to mention we have a company, Bikewise, who supply us with tyres and oils from Motel and braking pads from SBS. And we have guys like Neil at Powersport who helps us with exhaust pipes. We for sure want to be thankful to these guys constantly because without them, we just don't, it's not that we don't have a chance, it diminishes our opportunity of doing well.
Yeah.
So for sure, we completely lean on them for their help, financially as well as advice-wise.
Yeah.
And we are always hopeful to get into a position to give them the kudos that they deserve in their businesses.
So we're about to kick it over to football. There's a team that you support in South African football. Which team is it? And talk to us about the why.
Sky's the limit,
Yeah.
Caballero.
Goodness gracious. How did you end up there?
I'm a Pretoria guy, and I'm a guy who is progressive in our country. I've supported that team since 1985.
Ooh.
In fact, I had about 2 years ago, I had a time with Roger Fatumba.
Ah,
The journal.
So
yeah.
I can tell you about their history a bit, but the truth of the matter is I've always followed them, and I think in the last period of time from Pizza Mosamani's coaching days and the core that he built with the team before he left was fantastic under the watchful financial guidance of Patrice Matsepi.
Yeah.
For sure, but we do want to support South Africa, whether it's soccer, Bafana, whether it's rugby, the box, Brad Binder. We honestly have so much to be proud about in our country. And for sure, we want to export that. We don't want to export problems. We want people to be proud of what they actually got around them and focus on that.
And your socks definitely do show that, which
Yes,
are absolutely cool.
We are.
You've got no socks. There's a problem there.
I didn't read my email.
But that's where we'll wrap it up in terms of the motorsport conversation. We kick it over to football, and we're joined by Itumeleng Khune. All right, so Mzansi's finest, Mr. Scorpion Kick, joins us now. Itu, thank you for having
At
us.
some stage they called him Young Spider.
A young spider. What do you mean? You'll forever be young in our eyes.
So they will call you Brian Spider.
Oh, man.
Sure.
I mean, we're talking about, top goalkeepers in South Africa, and you're disputing the fact that you're a legend. In our eyes, we think you are, because you look at the generations, and that's the key thing, Itu. Like, the amount of games that you have played, and your numbers are quite high. I think about 300 for Kaizer Chiefs. You look at 80 for Bafana Bafana in terms of caps. 91. 91 for Bafana Bafana. So you've got a lot of games under your belt. And not only that, you did it with flair. Now again, you would show off. So, I mean, the legendary status is there. But why do you feel that maybe not?
No, there's great legends who came before me, who came before our generation. And I'm grateful that I got an opportunity to watch them and get inspired from what they were doing on the field.
Yeah.
I was telling Mr. Mahlatse now that, growing up as kids, you always aspire to become like someone. And when I first met Brian Baloyi, I remember it was after they won the CAF competition.
Mandela Cup.
The Mandela Cup. And we were given the opportunity to go and enjoy lunch with the first team players. And I went up to him and I told him, Brian, I want to be like you.
Sure.
And obviously, it's just a dream. You can't be like any other person.
Yeah.
You are yourself. You are blessed with your own talent, with your own skills. But I was inspired by what he has done in South African football. And now, after I've taken over from him and I was playing regularly, I used to bump into young kids who aspired to be like me. And I was like, no, just go beyond me or what I have achieved.
For sure.
Because I knew that I wasn't going to be Brian Baloyi. There's only one Brian Baloyi. And
only
there
one
can only
Itumeleng
be
Khune.
one Itumeleng Khune.
Yeah.
And if you want to make a name for yourself, be yourself. But get some inspiration from what I do on the field,
Yeah.
but surpass it. So I think that was the most important thing, that I also took Brian Baloyi's words and I surpassed him. And hence, I started coming up with different things on the field, you know, to make people distribution 101, scorpion kick. And towards the end, I was just chest trapping the shots, you know. I didn't want to use my hands anymore to dirty my gloves.
Mara, you
I
wanna
would
show
tell the
off.
guys that, hey, I'm just going to chest trap it. And it started at training. You know, at training, that's where you sharpen your sword. And whenever I'm on the field, the guys will try different things. And I'll also show them that, hey, I'm experienced, I've been around. And if you want to try this with me, I will do it better.
Yeah, but it's important just to be comfortable on the ball as a keeper, because we also seeing it now currently with the likes of Ronwen Williams. I mean, he becomes an extra player for Mamelodi Sundowns. But with you came with the flair as well, where it was just like you were having fun as much as, yes, you were at work, but you were having fun at work.
Now, I just want to thank Kaizer Chiefs for having given me the opportunity. Thank also the previous coaches that I've worked with, both at Chiefs and Bafana. More especially, special mention to Coach Mushin for having given me my first opportunity. He believed in me at the very young age, and he was like, I'm going to throw you in the deep end. And Coach Rainer Tenkelaka, the German machine, he is the one who worked on me from the age 15. By the time I turned 17, I got promoted to the senior side. And I'm grateful for what they have done in my development as a player and as a goalkeeper. But like I said, I don't regard myself as one of the greatest. But
It's fine, you don't have to. We will.
you have your, I respect your opinion, but for me, I don't want to sound arrogant or big-headed, because when you are too confident in South Africa, people don't get to see it that way. You know, they will say he's arrogant.
Yes.
But remember when Zlatan says, I don't chill with human beings, I'm a lion. We all cherish that, and we say, no, he's confident. But here in South Africa, you can't say I'm one of the greatest goalkeepers. Otherwise,
The Twitter will deal with you. So let me help Itu here. Itu, you are a legend, and I really don't care who says what. The numbers of matches that you've played, the successes that you have had. And also, I think what distinguishes legends to ordinary players is the impact you have had in the game. You have a profound impact in our football, especially for goalkeepers. And for that, I think as a country, we need to appreciate and honor you. I put you in the bracket of Yabo Brian, Andre, Arendse.
Those are great legends.
You know, though, and these are people that I'm sure you sort of looked up to growing up, and there will probably be other goalkeepers, maybe those who came in the past. But what one thing that I want to find out from you, obviously football is evolving. As Clauiee has touched on earlier on, that there's this thing of playing from the back now from goalkeepers, and I don't think you did it much during your playing time, but it's a thing now. How important is for a modern goalkeeper to be comfortable on the ball and be able to play and become that extra player, if you like?
I think it starts from training. That's where you build your confidence.
Yeah.
I was also doing it a lot at training, but unfortunately, I wasn't playing that much so that people can see it. Because I'm a former infield player.
Yeah.
When I came for trials at
You
Chiefs,
were a striker.
yes, I came as a striker. Even now, we play five-a-side indoor soccer at Waverley. I'm playing as an infield. I told the guys that I'm not going to wear my gloves ever again for
I
now.
don't want to break fingers at this age.
Because if I break my fingers, I have to pay from my own pocket. Whereas at Chiefs, they used to cover all the expenses. So I can't risk it that way.
Yeah.
But I'm having fun now. But you are right, football has evolved. And a great example, Ronwen Williams. You see, when he receives the ball, he even likes that thing of his, it's a trademark for him.
Yeah.
To spin, no, sorry,
He
to
does it
spin
like
it
this.
and then
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it gives you time to think, I think. To
Yes.
process, yeah.
And what it does, it dismantles the opposition.
Yeah.
And obviously players need to make you look good. They need to give you nice options and all that. Even me, I didn't think I was one of the best distributors, but because of the understanding we had with players on the field, that's why we have camps night before the game, so that we do our research on our opponents, and as soon as we go face them, we check who's in the starting 11 and who's not. Then we start discussing that. Shaba, as soon as I get the ball, just go in the pocket.
Yeah.
Bernard Parker, go the opposite side, but point that way, I'll play there. You tell George, as soon as I get it, go to the center line, spin on the outside.
Yeah.
I'll put it right on the ground, on the space. So it's the understanding that you have with your teammates, because some players, they think they've arrived, they think they are Mr. Know-it-all, and they don't get to learn and grow, you know. So me, I was willing to be a good listener. Whenever I was told information, or I would watch every football match that plays. But you would hear other professionals saying, I don't watch football. I can't play football and watch it.
Yeah.
But again, when you are facing the opponents, you don't know what their strengths are, you don't know what their weaknesses are. So with me, the fact that I was able to enjoy my career is because I watched every football match.
Yeah.
2009, I was hoping that David Villa was going to take the penalty, and he did.
And
Why? Because I'm watching European football also.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I knew which side he was going to. I did my research. And that's how you get to make a name for yourself. That's how you introduce yourself to the world stage. I knew every Barcelona player. I had their profiles. That if they do get a penalty, I'm going to save it. If it's Fernando Torres, I know this is what he's going to do.
Yeah.
There were saves that I made in Bloemfontein during Confed. Every time we were faced one-on-one with him, he would want to chip over me. At Liverpool, that's how he used to score. Every time the keeper comes, he knows the keeper is going to go down. Then he chips. But with me, Coach Reiner taught me something called spagat. So it's you making your body big,
Yeah.
and by you making the body big, you are closing all the angles. So you are not going down early, you are not staying up so that they kick it through your legs.
Yeah.
But the timing of everything, that, okay, it's one-on-one, check the distance. As soon as you get closer, there's no way he can pick the spot. You just go there with the spagat, you make yourself big. And
Sure.
I made such crucial saves.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, after I caught the penalty, then the rebound came from Puyol. Then the guys were like, relax. But because of the excitement and hearing the whole stadium cheering, Khune, Khune, I was like, quick counter-attack to Bernard Parker. They intercepted the ball. As the crowd was still cheering,
Yeah.
the ball is at the back of the net. And I felt bad. I was like, why did you rush your decision? You did everything right.
Right,
But
yeah.
why did you rush? You should have just relaxed,
Yeah.
push the guys up, put the ball down, start playing from the back. But at that time, I wasn't comfortable playing from the back.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to do what I do best, by distributing as quick as possible.
No, that
also
last is
showed
in
you-
session.
Yeah, no, it's proper.
I don't know which one is my camera. If you are
There's
a
your
young
camera there.
goalkeeper, you must listen here.
Yeah, I know.
You
But
must listen to the master.
you
here.
also showed Neymar, a little bit of trauma. There's a game where, from every angle, Neymar tried.
2016 Olympics.
Yes!
And there's another one that we played in Brazil, and at halftime I was told that the score could have been 6-0 by now.
Yeah.
But I made crucial saves in that match because that was when Coach Gordon Niggerson took over. And he took Moneeb out of retirement because he has worked with Moneeb before at Ajax Cape Town. So he took him out of retirement to say, Itu has been number one for long,
Yeah.
so it's time you come back, reclaim what's yours. But at halftime, I was told that we were meant to sub you, but I wasn't told before the game.
Yeah.
So that was the coach's plan to say, you're going to play 45, Moneeb is going to play the last 45. But I showed them flames in Brazil. And at some point, Mahlomola Morake, our media liaison,
Yeah.
apparently he was asked by the Brazilian #1 fan. You know, in Europe, they have a person who's always holding the thing, what do you call it? The speaker.
Yeah,
To
And
announce.
there's speakers around the stadium.
Yeah, to announce, yeah.
So they started singing Khune, Khune, and I was like, where do they know me from? In the first 45, I've won the Brazilians' hearts.
Sure.
And I continued playing, but I was like, there's no way they can sing Khune, Khune, Khune. Like, where do they know me from? The next thing, after the game, Mahlomola Morake comes to me. He's like, hey, one of the guys came to me, they asked for your name. And I said, Itumeleng Khune. They said, no, Itumeleng is too long.
Yeah.
Let's take the surname. We want Khune.
Yeah.
Then I started enjoying myself even more. Even when the ball was going wide, I would dive for it.
Of course.
You know, I was enjoying myself. And that's how I retained my #1 jersey at Bafana.
I want to stay with that. I mean, you go back, Itu, to when the late Senzo Meyiwa, the competition that you guys had as well. And I remember there's a point where when you're at Bafana, the coach would be like, okay, players, who must start between the two? Talk to us about that.
Hey, it started at the under 23s.
Yeah,
Where Coach Steve Kompela was our head coach. And every time we get to the meeting room, we only see defenders, midfielders, and strikers.
Yeah.
Then he says, guys, who would you like to start here in the goals? That's how tough our competition was with the late Senzo. May his soul rest in peace. He pushed me, I pushed him. Because at some point, there was 4 of us or 5 of us vying for the #1 jersey because we were playing the Olympics qualifiers also. Then what happened was Senzo was shorter than me. I had an advantage with height.
Yeah.
And you know, when you play the West African teams, you find that they're tall and all that. So the coach always preferred me than Senzo. But what I used to love about Senzo, he was a great showstopper. He wasn't good with distribution. He was still learning. He was great with penalty saving. Because every session that we had, after we'll just play around and say, guys, let's just compete. You know, and me and Senzo, obviously, Chiefs was sponsored by Nike, Pirates was sponsored by Adidas, even now.
Yeah.
So as soon as we get to camp, we will swap gloves. I loved the 3 stripes growing up.
Yeah.
He loved the swoosh.
Yeah.
So we would push each other to that point that, hey, give me your Adidas gloves, take my Nike gloves.
Nice.
Then that's how we would enjoy ourselves, because he would say, oh, your gloves are so comfortable. Hence, you are making such saves.
Yeah.
And I was like, your Adidas gloves are also comfortable. Hence, you are also making. So it's like I wanted to know his secret. He wanted to know
your
mine.
secret, yeah.
But at that time, we were still young. But I didn't perfect the distribution like I did in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
But when it comes to short stopping, both of us were equally good. Hence, the coach would always get to the meeting room. Instead of writing E2 or Senzo, he didn't know who to write.
Right, yeah.
Then he would start asking the players to say,
Who was that?
come and write.
Yeah.
And the guys would be scared. Then he would turn the board around. Then they face the other way. No one sees. We are all
Who's
sitting
writing
there.
what? Yeah.
And he's like, let's vote.
The secret ballot.
Everyone who comes writes the name, then they count how many Itumeleng Khune's names are there, how
Yeah.
many Senzo Meyiwa's names are there.
Yeah.
And then the coach will just say, okay, based on the votes, Itu is starting today.
Sure.
Based on the votes, Senzo is starting today. And that's how much we grew from that competition,
Yeah.
you see. So
All
yeah,
right.
no, we had so much fun.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
we-
that's
we
interesting.
did. It's an interesting story, right?
It was like Parliament.
I know it was tough for the coaches. It was tough, very tough.
Before we wrap up this goalkeeping department,
Yeah.
I've got a question from a friend of mine, right?
Okay.
This is what he says, is that I want to read it because I don't want to misquote him,
Okay.
right? He says that, this is an instruction, right? That you must, let me just read it as it is. He must go back, la koko, abo peguye, uguti, the Chiefs goalkeeping department is nothing without him, and tell Uguti, we heard his cry, he must let go now.
Eish. Now I'm humbled to hear such great words.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, what's happening at Kaizer Chiefs, it's heartbreaking.
for sure.
It's heartbreaking for any Chiefs fan because this is not what we are used to. Remember, if you look back, Kaizer Chiefs has always produced great goalkeepers.
True.
And you knew that there's a number one, you knew there's a number two, and number two wasn't far off from the number
Yes,
one.
yeah.
But with the current generation now, there's a big gap. And the fact that the coaches haven't found that number one.
It's crazy. I think it's in most clubs now you do. If you look at most of the clubs in the league, that gap between 1 and 2 is quite big.
It's quite big, yes, because we lack goalkeeper coaches. I saw Coach Gavin Hunt's interview, and he counted the goalkeepers that are currently playing.
Yeah.
Foreigners occupy the number ones. What does it do for our national team?
Yeah.
When Ronwen is not fit, we struggle. Now Sipo Chain is coming into the picture, Ricardo Goss.
Yeah.
But remember when Bafana played Uganda and they played Velimoto, who hasn't played in a while?
Yeah.
His confidence was down.
True.
So you need a goalkeeper coach that is South African that can push you to say, I'm going to work on you to get to almost Ronwen's level.
Yeah.
That's what used to happen at Chiefs. We knew that, okay, there's Brian Baloyi, there's Rowan Fernandez. There was a season where they were rotating every game. You could see that the competition was tight.
Yeah.
After him came our generation. Myself, brilliant, Riyad Peterse.
Yes.
We were not far off. You knew when Itu is suspended or is injured, you can always count on brilliant. And we knew the club culture that number one priority is to keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
We were vocal about it. Guys, we are not conceding. And even our coach, Stuart Baxter, we won 4 trophies under him.
Yeah.
We all got an opportunity to play. But we knew that there's number one, unless he's injured or suspended,
Yeah.
then number 2 is always ready. Number 2, if he's not ready, number 3 is ready. But you could, if you haven't watched Chiefs in a while,
Yeah.
and it's your first time watching the game, and Riyad is playing as number 3, you would think that he's been a number one because of the kind of training we used to get and the bond we used to have as goalkeepers.
Yeah.
When I'm out, I used to motivate them. When Brilliant is out, he used to motivate.
Yeah.
But with the current generation now, I don't know what's happening.
Sure.
Unfortunately, I haven't been to the village. I haven't seen them train. I don't know whether they have that kind of communication to say, guys, we need to push each other.
Yeah.
Because already 24 matches played. All 3 goalkeepers have played. Kaizer Chiefs is one of the clubs that has conceded a lot of goals.
Sure.
With us, you knew it will give you 18 clean sheets in a season. Having played 28 games, Riyad played 1, another clean sheet, 19, Brilliant played 1,
Clean sheet.
20 clean sheets, all 3 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
But now, every goalkeeper that goes in, he concedes. Then the next game, we don't know who to expect in goals.
Sure.
And that's not Kaizer Chiefs' culture.
Yeah.
We need to go back to that culture, dominate in our league, go dominate in the Bafana. Brian Baloyi was there for long. We knew he was number one
Yeah.
for club and country. Itumeleng Khune was there. We knew he's number one for club and country.
Yeah.
But we have lost that. So we need to go back to that.
Goalkeeping.
Bafana producing,
Yeah.
Kaizer Chiefs producing
players.
players and great goalkeepers for the national team. Continuity, it's
Yeah.
more important than anything else.
Goalkeeping masterclass influencer.
Again.
This is exactly it.
Again, this is
We
what it's
love
for
it.
free. We are not charging you. I guess just to maybe, as as Clauiee said, we are wrapping up on this one. Just obviously, you are a Chiefs man through and through, and that kind of thing, and just the club in general, man. It's very, very. It's not good. What's happening there? How do you feel about the club when you see them from a distance now?
No, like I said, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to see one of the biggest institutions in our continent having gone 10 years. Okay, let me just say 9, because they are still competing in Nedbank.
Yeah.
And there's a high possibility that they might win it, depending on what game plan they bring when they face Mamelodi Sundowns on Sunday. So it's heartbreaking to see the club going from being the greatest, being the most feared, to just anybody coming to FNB and they know they are going to win already.
Yeah.
So there's no more fear. People during our generation, Boshaba, Boyeye, Botepo Masilela, Bennett Parker, Maluleka, Lebes, those teams, Bomashamede, Botawa, teams would shake
Yeah.
the way we were dressed, the way we were game ready or serious faces. You never used to joke with us when we were in the tunnel.
Yeah.
Even us, we wouldn't joke with each other.
Yeah.
As soon as we walk out, we know. We know. We know. We are there standing.
Yeah.
We won the game before we go onto the field.
For sure.
And our coach would always encourage us to say, you can't score from open play. Because remember there's terminologies that Stuart Baxter brought to South African football. Transition football and parking the bus. Teams used to park the bus against Kaizer Chiefs. They used to fear us. But would be so patient. We know at the back, we are strong. You have reliable goalkeeper, defense, midfielders, strikers.
Yeah.
And a good bench.
Yes, and a good bench. Very strong bench. So we used to win games before we could even step on the field. Players, literally, when we are there standing,
Yeah.
you will see them looking at you from here to here. Standing next to you.
That's it.
Shaba is there fixing his hairband. But people would be so scared.
Yeah.
I cannot ground on the right to win. It
Yeah.
can take us 89th minute. That 1 minute left, I'll leave my goalpost, go to the center line.
For sure.
We get a set play. That's how we used to beat teams.
I mean,
90th,
Yeah.
cross from Shaba or Maluleka,
Yeah.
Tawa, Mashamaito, Morgan, goal. I run to the bench while the ball is still traveling.
Of course.
That's how confident and good we were.
Yeah.
And Kaizer Chiefs needs to go back there.
I'm interested when you talk about, that confidence, Itu, and really the terms of the tunnel, because I remember Tiko Modise talks about this, that you guys in the tunnel, you'd tell Don Agutsi, I'm going to score.
I would tell him from Bafana.
Yeah.
Normally, it's either we play before we go to the national team, or we come from the national team, then it's a derby.
Yeah.
And a lot of the guys, I think that's why I used to look so good, because I would always tell the guys at camp that you can't score past me.
Yeah.
And they would want to score. But the only player who used to score against me from coming back from the national team or going, Kemiti Rasmus. That guy used to give me sleepless nights.
Yeah,
Yes. He's short, he's got technique.
Yeah.
And I'd ask myself, I overstretched, I did everything right, but still I couldn't get to that ball. How come? That guy used to hit me with long-range shots. Every goal that he has scored against me, it's a long-range shot.
Yeah.
Whether playing for Pirates or playing for Supersport.
And what was the conversation with him now when you see him off the field?
No, I tell him that even when I do interviews, I get asked, who is the striker I used to fear the most?
Yeah.
I say it with pride. Kemiti Rasmus.
Yeah.
He used to give me sleepless nights. At training, I used to wish that Knowledge Musona, actually he's my teammate at that time.
Yeah.
But I wish that he wasn't playing for any other club.
Yeah.
Because he was also lethal.
Yeah,
And
always,
at training, he used to give me problems.
Yeah.
And remember, when someone scores past Itu, the whole training stops, people laugh.
Really?
Because I used to hate conceding, even at training. So
Yeah.
what about in matches? That's what I'm saying. Every season, I would sit down, take a pen and paper, write my goals down. The only trophy I won't get at the end of the season
Yeah.
is the top scorer. That's why I don't even have
Yeah.
a single goal.
Of
Yeah.
course.
But the rest, I knew. I've written them down.
Operation
I'm
Connect.
like, player,
Thank you, Gwas.
goalkeeper, everything.
Yeah.
I used to know
Yeah,
that.
and you
okay,
have done that at some stage where you at the end of the PSL hours, you pretty much won everything.
Yeah.
from club to the PSL. With 5-6 games to go, Itu, you are going to take everything. The only trophy you won't win, it's a top scorer. Because you don't even have a single goal. But I used to be scared to go kick free kicks,
Yeah.
penalties. After I missed the one in the black label, I was like, no more. Because you tend to lose focus
Yeah.
on what is most important. My job is to save.
Yeah.
Unless we go to sudden death. But
Then-
whenever you are told that you are kicking penalty number 5, already your mind is there.
For sure.
You are unable to focus
On saving.
on saving. So I would go 5 penalties without saving one because I'm thinking about my one.
want to
that
score.
I want to score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then the next thing is pressure. People are expecting a lot. No, he will score. The next thing Moneeb comes, he makes me scared. I know you from afar. I'm going to save it. And I'm like, I'll show you. I put it down. I'm like, the next thing, he's there. And I'm like, is this what I also do to other players?
There's some goalkeepers about us. Yes,
And it's an unfamiliar territory. Because with you, you know your back is always
Yes.
facing the crowd. You know? But at the time you put the penalty down, you raise your head and everyone is like,
Yeah.
a lot is expected.
Yeah.
You need to convert and save also. So you
True.
can't do 2 things at once.
So what's the craziest you have encountered from a guy who was taking a penalty against you? Because only one about.
Yes, that's something that I learned from Moneeb, intimidation, to intimidate the players. I never used to do that. I was a person who will just go because I know I've done my homework. I know Mr. Mahlatse is going to go to my right,
Yeah.
low or mid or top. I go there relaxed.
Yeah.
I just go to my goal post. It's like I'm not interested.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know where you're going to kick to.
Yeah.
The next time, save. The referee will come and say, retake. You moved early out of your line.
Sure.
Then I saved the retake also.
Yes.
2007, there was a time where Coach Mushin did this. You want to retake again for the 3rd time. Remember I saved Ndlovu's penalty twice.
Yes.
Nyandoro and Apataki.
Yeah.
Coach Mushin, after the 2nd miss, he was like, you
Alright.
wanna go again?
Another one.
I always go back to that game, Google it, watch it,
Watch
you
it,
know,
yeah.
bring back those good
memories,
memories.
yeah.
And because at some point, I want to be a goalkeeper coach. I want to help the future generation of this country.
Yeah.
And my services are always available. But for now, I still want to get the qualifications. And they are hardly in South Africa,
Yeah.
but they're outside the country. So
Because I see Coach
obviously-
Alex Reddy is always outside the country.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I've spoken to him, and he once, 2 years ago, he once invited me to the one they were doing at Safa, the hotel in Lens,
Yeah, at
Asia.
Fun Valley.
Vanville, yes. So he invited me to that one. And then other goalkeeper coaches didn't pitch. Then he was like, okay, you'll also do whatever other goalkeepers are doing. Because he was like, you are here, you don't have to say a word because you are not registered and all that.
Yeah.
So just keep quiet, listen to the experienced ones. So I was there listening. After 2-3 days, he was like, no, you know what? We also want to hear your perspective about goalkeeping. And like enough, you are still playing currently. So just share whatever that you want to share.
True.
Then people started listening to me attentively, and I was like, wow.
Who wouldn't want to listen to you?
All
I
the
mean,
guys,
I
experienced
mean.
guys who were better than me in all
Yeah.
aspects, they are quiet in the room listening to what Itu,
has
the
to
current
say,
goalkeeper, is
yeah.
still saying. Because I should be the one learning from them. They've traveled the road before me.
Yeah.
And I should be the one taking advice from them, but they were taking advice from me. And after that, we got certificates, but it was just a certificate of attendance.
Yeah, yeah.
So it wasn't a D license.
proper
Yeah.
coaching course, yeah.
So, but it made a huge difference in my life because I was going towards really retirement. So I was like, you know what, let me just start doing this for the benefit of our country, because it hurts to see no goalkeeper coaches are able to coach. And Arendse was coaching me at Bafana. He had knee problems. He couldn't kick the ball. Now it's Coach Grant Johnson. But what I like is because him and Ron, when they work together in Supersport before he left for Sundowns, so they have that chemistry. But again, I also want to make an impact in the future. I don't know when, but once I acquire the qualifications, then I'll probably start going to clubs to...
So can we speculate, Naturela? Going to work there?
Only God knows.
Inshallah.
Only God knows. He will guide me.
God willing.
He will guide me.
We'll see where you go. But I mean, you talk about training sessions, and I'm always so interested about training sessions. And influencer here has one of his favorite training sessions when you go to Mamelodi Sundowns, talking about the rondo with Roger Fatumba being, of course, tested out there. And it's a beautiful story. But in your career, be it Bafana, be it Kaizer Chiefs, is there a special, crazy, funny story that comes out of training session that you can share with us?
The problem is, I'm always serious. When I'm at training, when I'm at work, once I strap those gloves of mine, I don't get to look at any other thing, because even when players are not serious, I used to go crazy. Because what's the use? You come to training to sharpen your skills, but you are there being very playful, not being serious, and then come match day, you don't know what you are doing on the field. And it affects the players who are serious. But I can't really recall the funny moments because I was always serious about training. Because what you do at training, it automatically happens in matches. So if you are playful in training, that means you are going to be playful in matches. You can see how players miss chances. Because at training they miss, they laugh. And me, I want you to test me. That's why sometimes I'll say 100 rand per goal. If I save, you pay me the 100. No, I don't have that kind of money. No, it's not all about having the money or not. Let's just say it to push each other. I was doing that even with Ranga. As much as the fans are on his back now, missing sitters and such great chances. Last season when I was still there, he was my person. After training, put 10 balls there. Improve me, let me improve you. Wala, goal, wala, goal. Okay, what was the final score out of 10 balls? I scored 2. I saved 5. 3 went wide. Okay, tomorrow we're doing it again. That's what you miss in football. That's what you miss, because if you look at the ratio of our top scorers in the league, the guys are no longer going above 10. You'll find Shalulile, who is from Namibia, being on 13 goals. You will see Ribeiro now, who's on 10 or 11 goals. Tell me about the Bafana player who's somewhere there. Because we take things for granted here in this country. We don't take things serious, because I should be up there being counted among the best. That's what I wanted to do as a player. As a goalkeeper, I wanted to be counted amongst the best. So I ended up saying I needed to be creative, come up with ideas to say, how do I push these players?
It's interesting you say
How do
that.
they push me?
Yeah, no, he's going to be a tough coach. Eh?
No, I can tell that. But you know, as you
But you need that to push these boys, because, like we're saying, I mean, some of the times our guys got too playful, and and that can be.
And it shows in matches. If a player misses one-on-one, then you ask yourself, what was he doing at training the whole week?
But you know, it was interesting as you're speaking. I'm remembering a conversation we had with he was here, Umajoro.
Oh yes.
Talking about him from a striker's perspective as a coach, that it's important to also practice finishing, because he feels we don't do that enough in the country. And now you're talking about
and I encouraged him to open the mesa strikers coach, because in my interviews at SABC when I'm at work,
Yeah.
I always encourage that to say, now you see players rushing to go home. What are you going to do? You came at work at 9, by 11, 12 you are done. You are rushing to go home. Take extra 20, 30 minutes. We're not saying it must happen every day.
Yeah.
But sometimes when you feel down, you want something that will put a smile on your face. Remain behind. That's how I improved my distribution. I used to take the small goalposts, Mr. Mahlatse, you know them at the village. I would put them at the corners of the center line.
Yeah.
I would hit them. Every time the players go on water break, it was a culture. Shaba will say, Ito! He opens his legs.
Yeah.
Then I'll say, it will only take me one take.
Don't move, eh?
Then I hit the first one. He goes, everyone is watching, drinking water. He hits the foot. It doesn't go in, and I'm like, oh.
Don't move.
Water. Everyone. That's how you improve.
Yeah.
So during water breaks, that's what I used to do. After training, that's what I used to do.
For sure.
But now, the youngsters started being promoted, and they're like, they have this mentality that I'm not playing week in, week out, so why should I stay behind and do extras?
Sure.
But you are not doing it for now, you are doing it for later.
For later,
You see? So I used to advocate that, to say to the guys, you are always in a rush to go home. You get home, what are you doing when you get home? Because you're going to get there, sit on the couch, pass
Be
out.
bored. Yeah.
But what have you achieved on the day
For sure.
at training? What have you achieved? Because with me, I know, if I make a save, I get home, I think about it. I want to do it in a match.
That's how Scorpion Kick came about as well.
That's how Scorpion Kick came about.
Sure. Yeah, no. you are quite an interesting character. You do.
Yeah, but this talks to preparation, because if
Yes.
I mean, even us here, we prepare when you come here. I mean,
Exactly.
spend a lot of time on the phone talking about these kind of things.
You
You
see.
can't just rock up here and sleepwalk through this thing.
You see?
You have to prepare. You have
Exactly.
To
Preparation is more important.
How's being an analyst on TV? How's that transition treating you? I mean, you seem right at home from what I see.
Now I'm grateful to the opportunity that SABC has given me. I'm growing in that space. I'm never a person who likes talking too much.
Yeah.
But as an analyst, you have
Gotta
to
talk,
express
eh?
yourself. You have to. So I was telling Mr. Mahlatse before the show started that I don't like doing podcasts because you're going to talk too much. You're going to end up saying things you're not supposed to say
get yourself into
about
trouble.
wrong people. So I've been declining the podcast because it's an in thing now.
Yeah.
It's good for your profile also, but the questions that you are being asked there, because the hosts are chasing the numbers. But when you are in trouble, you are left by yourself.
Yourself, true.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm not a person who likes talking.
I must
But-
tell you, we have had a guy who was sued sitting on that chair.
Me was misunderstood. But I mean, how was the earpiece transition? And I asked this because Hlompo Kekana, when we asked him, I was like, yo, I struggled for a bit with the
Nah,
earpiece.
same here.
Is it?
I think at some point, Robert Marawa invited me to his show,
Yeah.
and they put the earpiece on my ear. The next thing, there's people making noise at the back.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was happening. And remember when you do interviews, you are an anchor,
Yeah.
you're interviewing me. As soon as the camera moves away from you and it comes to me, there's hand gestures happening, there's communication happening, and you end up being confused. So you are listening to that person, you are answering, you are thinking, what am I going to say next? So it used to confuse me. But when I got to SABC, I told them that I can't use the earpiece because there's too much noise, there's too much distraction. They told me if you want to work on TV, you need to practice and have it. So now I'm using it, but as soon as I'm about to answer, I turn the volume down. Then I can articulate
What you wanna
properly.
say, yeah.
And then after I turn it
switch
back
it
on,
back on.
Yeah.
and then I listen to the next question.
Yeah.
But if I leave it on and there's too much distraction, then I'm always here and it doesn't look nice. It's like you are confused, you don't know what you are doing.
For sure.
So I came up with a new strategy. You know, I think.
You're a thinker.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
so that I don't get distracted.
Yeah.
So you need to find ways on how to deal with certain things.
Yeah.
Got you.
But I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad
Despite
you are. I can tell.
the technical stuff of being on TV and doing analysis, what have you find the most challenging? Because sometimes guys just go on TV and, you know, they don't have that substance of, I want to listen to somebody at halftime who can come and really, you know, give me something that maybe I might have missed in a game. Be more technical, like do a proper analysis. How difficult has that been to really, you know, give the viewer something more than just, you know, as you can see?
Yeah, you know, it's difficult because remember, in that 15 minutes at halftime that you have, you are not alone, and there's ad breaks in between. So when they say in 10, 9, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you'll find out that that segment, it's 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You have 10 seconds to share your views. He's got 10 seconds to share. You've got, so now you have to be, to speak fast, you know, and there's someone, like I'm saying, the anchor will be like, come on, finish up, finish up. At that time, you still have a lot to share.
Yeah.
But now you are being given 10 seconds. So I'm also improving on that. And as soon as I get home, I ask my wife, how was it, wifey? No, it was good, hubby. And then I ask my superiors, how was it? Before I leave the studio,
Yeah, feedback.
I want feedback. Even if you criticize me, I'll take it.
For sure.
You know, because not so long ago, there's a word that I said and I wasn't aware. It was a swear word. It's a funny live on television. So they were like, hey man, because what I like about SABC, you are given the freedom to express yourself. You see, but as Tswana, when I say that, I'm not swearing.
You're not swearing. You're
But
just saying
to someone
it's going
else,
down, eh?
yes, it's going down because remember Arrows and Chiefs first half, they were going at each other, and obviously we're having those discussions off air.
Yeah.
So as soon as you go on air, then they ask you, Itu, what do you think of the first half? I was like, aye.
Why you?
Then I heard on the earpiece, you shouldn't have said that. I'm like, what did I say wrong? They're like, no, man, you said this. And I was like, nah. So sometimes I'm becoming more comfortable now. Hence, I say whatever I want to say, but it's not good for the viewers at home.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still learning because remember, we used to be on TV, but on the field play. That's what I used to specialize on. So now I'm being called to say, share your expertise. And it's not like I went for training where they will say, you say this, you don't say that. You do this, you don't do that. So you get to learn as time goes by.
Yeah.
You also look at how Mr. Mahlatse is sitting and you're like, okay, that means I don't have to sit like that, but I have to sit like that. You know, it's small things. And what you say with your mouth, it might be used against you if you are not analyzing properly.
True.
So it's small things that I'm still learning because remember, it's my first season doing it.
Yeah.
So I will grow. And I always learn from others. You know, I watch European football and then I'm like, okay, when they are standing, this is how they stand. Okay, when they are seated, this is how they sit. Okay, they don't get to read like this.
Yeah.
They put the book, their
Somewhere.
notes, you know, where you can just... So those are the kind of things that I'm learning right now.
Yeah.
But at some point, we will get it right. Like I'm saying, us, Slompo, Happy, we are just retired footballers. Last season, 2 seasons ago. But we will get there.
I think one of the persons that, you know, will really help, I enjoy Coach Shuti's stuff.
She's
Ah,
brilliant.
yo, she's
brilliant.
She's proper, yeah.
Even
She's
me,
one of
I'm
the-
learning a lot from her.
Yeah.
And she's a woman, but I respect her
Yeah.
because she deals with stats. And she showed me where she gets those stats from. And with me, sometimes when there's too much information, I'm like, Coach Shuti, this
part
is
is
yours.
yours.
Nagetabuwa got the basics.
Yeah, you will just talk football.
Talk football
Yeah.
because you used to be on the field. Now you're never doing the stats. Remember in the last 10 games, these teams met and some of us, we don't remember such things.
For
Or a Mamman player had 100 box entries and what, and it gets
Pass
complex.
rate percentage, interceptions. Yo, Coach Dudu, she's very good at that.
Yeah.
But you must check the difference between her and the rest of the other analysts.
Yeah.
We hardly speak about stats.
Yeah.
Isn't like you have to give, you
Yeah,
know,
because sometimes
Yeah.
there's no time. Yeah.
there's no time. But with her, that's what she specializes on. So when they say you have to, Coach Dudu, then she's like, it's fine, I'll take it. Because she knows
Yeah.
she's good at that.
She's very
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
And then while you were playing, and I asked this because I sometimes watch as well, I mean, European football, and you see how, you know, players receive a Thierry Henry when they're listening to his commentary and when they score and how happy they are when they see Thierry Henry right there. What about you when you were playing? Would you listen to, I mean, you said you watched the games, and sometimes the analysis, would you then call a Jimmy and be like, Mara Jimmy, what were you saying?
At that time when I was still playing, there was no time because you want to watch the game.
Yeah.
And it goes to halftime. You want to go to the garage, grab something quickly. You want to go to the mall, grab something quickly before the second half comes back on. So I never used to listen to the analysis.
Oh,
I didn't
okay. You
even
didn't
know
bother.
that
Yeah.
one day SABC will give me such a great opportunity. So as I'm saying, I'm still in the learning phase,
Okay,
but
got
I will get it. I'll get it right.
There's
What?
that clip I sent of Coach Picho. Who chooses the man of the match? Eh? I want to know.
Who do they support? This
And
Jimmy,
so,
where
because
did he play?
sometimes you can get caught in this thing of, you know, as a former Chiefs player, you tend to lean more towards Chiefs when you know. So Coach Picho was questioning that to say, I mean, you can't have two Chiefs players doing a Sundowns match and all that kind of thing. And also you get the same thing from Chiefs players or from Fathers players about their former
Yeah,
teams.
not in a bad way, ne? But I asked SABC nicely to refrain me from doing Kaizer Chiefs matches because I become emotional.
Yeah.
You can see even now we're talking, I've been sweating and all that. Whenever we talk about Chiefs, my heart is attached to them.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do Kaizer Chiefs matches, defend Kaizer Chiefs even when they don't deserve to be
Defended, yeah.
defended, or give them too much credit even when they don't deserve it.
Or
So-
hammer them too much because you're
or
emotional.
hammer them too much. You are a former player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a time where I was doing analysis regarding, I was doing Soccer Zone for the first time. And they asked me about Kaizer Chiefs and Coach Nabi. And I said, in our culture at Chiefs, when we won 4 trophies, we stopped everyone from going on the field with the headsets.
Oh, yeah.
So you can wear them in the bus when you get out of the bus to the changing room, but as soon as we get there, we leave everything inside the changing room. We bond. We discuss tactics. We go on the field, do the field inspection. But I was surprised that our players are still doing it. They are not wearing the headphones, but the head coach is doing it. And the head coach is a leader. Players must learn from him.
Yeah.
So now if the coach is going to wear the headphones, give them to the young player like Mfundo Villagaz to say, listen to this song before an important match. And the boy hasn't started a match at that time. It was his first start. He's been coming on as a sub last 5 minutes, last 10 minutes. So I was giving my perspective regarding the headphones that I used to be at Chiefs. I know that it's not allowed to go for any player or coaches or anyone to go with headphones on the field. And someone said, he too needs to watch his mouth
Sure.
because he must be like Manenze. Manenze is always defending Pirates. Then I was like, but I'm a football analyst of 16 PSL teams.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm not an analyst for Kaizer Chiefs, you know. So I can't keep on defending, even
Where
when you see that
can't
Things are
defend,
not
yeah.
right. Yeah.
I can't defend, you know, because you are the one who's gonna look.
Of course.
Yes, people who are watching, they'll say, but what is Itu talking about?
But, yeah.
Why is Itu defending mediocre? And I was like, SABC, please understand, I become emotional whenever I talk about the club. So please, can I do other games instead of? But at some point, I'll get used to it. Then,
Yeah, and then
because I've
you-
done a couple where my analysis were fair and
Yeah.
square. I'm analyzing 2 teams. I'm giving my perspective about Chiefs. I'm giving my perspective about Arrows.
Sure.
Even when I do the score predictions,
Yeah.
I become honest.
Yeah.
I said Kaizer Chiefs took their home game to Arrows' home ground. They were beaten 1-0. Arrows took Chiefs to the same stadium. I know football. I know that you cannot go wilo dlala go ba bitsang ka Setswana. O ka se latele noga ko mosimeng wa yona.
Yeah.
Uyabona, angeke ulande inyoka emgodini wakho.
Okay, got you.
So Chiefs took 2 games to the same stadium, playing in Arrows' hands. Arrows beat them twice this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 6 points gone. But Chiefs should have thought better and said, let's take the game to Polokwane.
Yeah.
There's heat there. Devon, it's cold at the moment. Let them come to Polokwane. So now if you're going to live here, it's raining, it's cold here, you take the game to Arrows, they're used to the weather, they're used to everything. When you get that side, you have to climatize and all that.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. So I gave a proper analysis on that. And I predicted that Arrows is going to beat Chiefs again. It was a problem. But like I'm saying, point of correction to everyone who says I must analyze and defend Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
I'm an analyst for all 16 PSL teams. I'm fair, and that's how it will remain.
Yeah, no, quite
I'm
strict
not
from
fighting
a-
with anyone.
No, you're
but
calling
I'm
a spade
being,
a spade.
I'm being a fair analyst.
That's it.
No, we like that. He never reads the comments because they always come for him as well.
No, I don't have time for that. So
I
by the
mean-
way, those other ones, whoa.
Which
Yes,
other-
Coach-
okay,
yes,
let's
Coach
not get
Peter
into that
said.
because we are running out of proper time and we have to get to the Nedbank Cup. We'll start with, of course, Mamelodi Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs. You talk about stats and you look at the fact that if Kaizer Chiefs lose this one, it's going to be the 4th time that they're beaten by Mamelodi Sundowns this season. So there is pressure going into this encounter. Mamelodi Sundowns, of course, we know on paper the strength that they possess, but how do you go into an encounter like this? I mean, you've played against Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, it is a different squad now, but how do they treat this game and how important is this week heading to, of course, a big encounter like that?
I think Kaizer Chiefs needs to take advantage of the fact that they would have had more rest. Sundowns is playing tonight. They are resting. By the time Sunday comes, they must be fresher than Sundowns. Take the game to Sundowns. And that will be an easy win for them. Because Sundowns, they've played so many games.
Yeah.
For them to be at this stage of Champions League, at this stage of the league, at this stage of the Nedbank,
Cup, yeah.
it shows that they've played many games and they're probably fatigued wherever they are. So Kaizer Chiefs need to take advantage of that. But again, with Sundowns they have great squad,
Yeah.
strong bench. Even when you look at the stand, when they show their players, you see that hey, you can take this one out and put this one in. They will still win matches of football.
Yeah.
And that's the experience that they'll be bringing into this game. But again, may the best team win come Sunday.
From my side, I think this match, if you look at the bigger picture for Chiefs, is probably their biggest match of the last while.
Yeah.
There's a lot riding on this match. If Chiefs beat Sundowns and they get to the final against Pirates or Maroon, especially against Pirates,
Yeah,
then it means Chiefs have qualified for the Confed Cup next season.
exactly.
Because Pirates will probably finish first or second in the league.
You see.
So it's critically important for Chiefs to try and beat Sundowns and get into a final, hopefully against Pirates.
There's a lot to play for,
There's
and
a lot to
I
play for.
wish the analysts or the coaches have picked that up and they will share that information with the players.
For
Because it's
more
not
hunger.
nice when you go on the field and you don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know what's at
Like,
stake.
you know, the saga, Bafana saga,
Yeah.
having fielded Mokwena and
Not knowing.
he was
Yeah.
not knowing. It's the same as what happened in the Mbovela when we
You were there, no?
thought, yes, when I thought we had qualified, then we started dancing. Because we were told that we needed a draw.
Yeah.
And I was wasting time on purpose.
Yeah.
And I was caught by the camera doing this.
Yes.
Then after we had not qualified, I was blamed for that. But when we went on the field, we were told that we
information you
only
got
Just
was
need a
different.
draw, yeah.
only to find out there's head-to-head. We
Yeah, which is
played
what Clef
Niger
lose.
away and Sierra Leone. They were in our group. And we played 0-0 with Sierra Leone away and at home.
Yeah.
We were told about head-to-head. Then we were like, how does it work? It was already late. So I just hope whoever that needs to get that information out to the players, they can do that so that players know they have a lot to play for.
Because, you know, it's highly unlikely that Chiefs will finish third and qualify for the Confed Cup.
That's true.
And you really, really, we need Chiefs to be playing in
Continental football.
continental football because
Yeah.
of the stage of the club. And you feel if they sign better, more players next year, they'll probably be stronger.
Yeah.
And you know, it will be nice to have Chiefs, Sundowns, Pirates competing. Not that I'm saying Stellenbosch and
teams
them
are
are
not
not
good
enough,
enough.
because you have to fight to be there.
Yeah.
The other thing is, I mean, we'll probably get a report now. It's going to be Miguel. He got injured in the last match. If Miguel is not there already, Dotley is not there. That central pairing is going to be a serious problem for them.
Yeah, we
I
were
know
talk-
Msimangu is coming through. You know, I just don't know who they'll pay him with.
I was actually having the same chat on our way to the studio with Obi, telling him that if Miguel is not ready for the Sunday,
Yeah.
that means Dove will have to be shifted inside
Yeah.
to become a left center
Back.
with Given.
Probably with Given Msimangu.
And then on the left, they'll probably play Riff Rosler or Cross because Happy Mashiade is out
It's
injured.
out, yeah.
So there's a lot of injuries currently,
Yeah.
but the coaches know what to do.
In the middle, I didn't get the information as to why Kele didn't play. Maybe it was a suspension. Probably he's back. If he's not there,
Also out injured.
so if Kele is not back, it's going to be a big problem for them in that central midfield because he has been very key.
Yeah, very key.
So if you don't have the two centre backs, you don't have Kele. Oh, it's going to be another problem. Yeah.
Yeah, a huge
The
mountain to
coach is going to have a serious headache there. For Sundowns, so obviously the traveling is going to be there, but I mean these guys know this thing.
climb. Yeah, no.
It's not,
done it
and
before.
also I think the reason why the match is being moved to Sunday is to give them a chance to recover. They'll be
Recover more.
probably back in the country tomorrow. They'll be off, then they'll get back on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. They'll pretty much have 2 solid days to prepare, which should be enough for Sundowns. Obviously, hope for their sake they don't have injuries. If they don't have injuries, then they should be good. But there's one thing I always say about this match. Chiefs always rock up once in a while against Sundowns, they beat Sundowns, regardless of what's happening. And
Yeah, I've
Sundowns
been there, I know that.
must guard against them. I remember with Coach Pizzo,
Coach
I
Pizzo
think it
used
was,
to
I
give
think
him
it was Coach
sleepless
Steve.
nights.
You guys went to Pretoria and beat Sundowns there.
Even Coach Covenant,
Yeah.
when everyone has written us off,
Yeah.
then we just started like I don't know.
It's amazing how it
I have
happens.
to go check my stats. How many times have I played Sundowns and how many times have
You've
I
beaten them.
suffered losses against them,
Yeah.
and how many times we've drawn, how many times we've won.
Yeah.
But I know that for the fact I have more wins.
Yeah,
How
yeah,
is- how
they
is-
do it.
Yeah, no, they do. I want to find out how is then the preparation for you, because when you listen to Adonna talk about that encounter when he was at Sundowns and when you were at Chiefs, you'll be like, no, I go Sundowns and score, even go center line. He's not gonna tell you about that. But that rivalry.
That ball, it was just a lousy chip.
Yeah.
Bolo Itela, Morgan and Kamabiliat ran across me. So obviously the instinct is if you are running, you're gonna hit the ball to the near post.
Yeah.
There's no way you can run that way and hit
Yeah,
the ball.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I moved with them, and the ball took an awkward bounce
And then-
because at FMB on the opposite side it's a bit dry. Other side, the grass is not exposed to the sun, so it's always moist.
Yeah.
So the ball skid off, and the next thing, as I tried to go back, it was
Yeah.
already at the back of the net.
Ah,
So
yeah,
Teko can't be
Russia.
proud of that goal.
Yeah,
He was
Russia.
crossing.
He can't
He
be
was
proud, he can't
crossing.
claim it.
Go check Pirates and Chiefs and see how Teko was hitting those shots, trying to beat me, and I
Yeah.
was like, "Ke gana ka nna."
Never.
Yeah.
But LNG, it was just a nice chip to come. Then they both missed the ball. And obviously, as a goalkeeper, you have to be in line.
Yeah.
But as they were running, I said, no, man, let me shuffle across, maybe this ball will come to the near post.
Yeah.
And it will be an easy pick for me. He can't pride himself with that goal. No checklist stats and how many saves I've made. I've made more saves than that one shot or that one goal he scored against me.
but how's the rivalry between the two? Because yes, we see Kaizer Chiefs, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates rivalry, but Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, it's also quite special.
It's been growing.
Yeah.
It's been growing. And you can see even Pirates and Sundowns, it's also growing. For them to us to use FNB Stadium, it shows that, you know, the rivalry, it's toughening up now, you know, because they wouldn't have used FNB if the rivalry wasn't there.
True.
But with us, I know that we never used to want to lose against Coach Pito. We used to fight a lot even in our press conferences about the crowd. That whenever we are at Loftus, we take from one corner flag right around the stadium to the other corner flag. And Sundowns is just on one side.
53.
Coach Pito used to shout at me, no, there are Sundowns supporters. And I'm like, no, coach, go look at the clip properly. It shifts everywhere. You come to FMB, you know we dominate. We come to Loftus. How many times have we played Sundowns at Masterpieces? All you see is gold and black.
Yeah, even the last one, yeah.
Sundowns is just there by the center line. And then the rest is Chiefs.
Oh my goodness.
So the rivalry is growing.
It
and
is.
It was started by Coach Pito.
Yeah.
By going to press conferences, starting to focus on Chiefs. No, we have better supporters than Chiefs. We have better this. But
Do you remember that moment? Wait, remember that moment when he was like, "You don't have to beat Chiefs to win the league."
You see, we used to give him sleepless nights. But what a great coach he was.
Yeah,
he was
And also, Coach Pito was a master of mind games.
Mind games.
Just to add to what Clauiee said, during the COVID, you guys were going there. Yeah? Now, Coach Pito was, I think it was.
Benefit that? Why can't I benefit?
I remember there was one incident, they were coming back from the Champions League and then they at the airport got into a bus and they were going to Polokwane or something and then they came. You know what, that is the way they train at midnight and all those things. So now we ask him, say, Coach, the schedule is hectic, but Chiefs is there. Then he said, hi. It's like we're at university, I'm doing 5 modules, you're doing 1. You have to pass it.
Oh, what a character.
You have to pass, You have to pass,
You used to get angry when you talk about Chiefs.
Even when Chiefs got their small team in that bag, I said, please also give me Bavarara, and they'll go to a final. It's a small team.
The whole week. Yeah, you will laugh the whole day. Yeah. What a character.
No, definitely.
Such a great coach, humble person.
Yeah, good coach. Yeah.
We need more coaches like that, you know, like to bring that those mind games.
I'm told, you know,
where are you pointing at, Mike? Where is this?
there.
Where is this? So wait.
There is a way to there.
Oh, okay. On that note,
We forgot to talk about parents.
we are going to Orlando Pirates and Gallants. You two talk to us about that. I mean, it's I don't know. What do you think of the timing of the announcement of Jose Rivera leaving Orlando Pirates? Now, I look at it and I think, okay, maybe it could have waited until the end of the season.
That's what I also thought. And it's going to dismantle the camp. You know, because you will start seeing players starting to pick sides now to say, oh, this one was loved by that coach, and now that coach is going to leave. Now they're going to start the unnecessary fights at Orlando Pirates. It should have been at the end of the season, after lifting either Nedbank or Champions League, and then boom, announcement. But for now, they're in the critical stages of both cup competitions. And the timing, I think it was off for them to make an announcement when they are playing such important games. Because remember, if Pirates can be knocked out at CAF tomorrow, fans will start blaming the head coach.
For sure.
But they won't blame the club for releasing the statement early. You see, so I think the timing was off, and it was wrong of them to mention it now, and unlike waiting for the end of the season.
Sure. And it's interesting that you mention, possibility of lifting a Nedbank Cup and a Champions League. You don't mention the league, eh? It means the league is chai?
Sundowns is gone with the league. Let's just swallow our pride. Sundowns is gone with the league.
But Itu, look at the technicality of Royal AM. If obviously Royal AM are going to be chucked out of the league, so it's 2 points, 2 games out of Pirates, 1 less of Sundowns. So it creates a very, very interesting dynamic there at the top in terms of match. I think there will be 2 matches now. Difference, Pirates, and Sundowns with less 3 points.
But remember, those games in hands are not guaranteed.
Are not guaranteed, yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying with all these announcements,
And all these things, yeah.
players, can you imagine what it's going through their minds?
True.
The key thing for Pirates is just keep on winning. And then
Keep on winning.
Keep pressure on Sundowns. But at the moment, Sundowns, they should.
No, but Pirates and Marumo,
Yes.
I think Marumo showed Pirates that they don't fear them when they beat them 2-0.
in the
Or was it Sundowns?
No, I think they beat Marumo.
Marumo
beat
beat
Pirates,
Pirates.
away.
Yes, in Bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. So it shows it's going to be a tough game.
True.
Pirates knows that they can't afford to take Marumo for granted because they might cause the upset.
Yeah.
So they are going into that game well prepared. But like I'm saying again, I'm worried about all these announcements because you don't want energy from outside coming into camp
Yeah.
because it will end up confusing players. Obviously, as family members, we will want to know, is it true, is the coach leaving or not?
Yeah.
Other players are more closer to the coach and they might be affected individually. And when one individual in the team, because they are a well-oiled machine,
Yeah.
you see when they take Dlamini out, Maswangai comes in, they are still performing. They take Maswangai, he's injured, they put Dlamini in, they are still gelling.
Yeah.
So with all these announcements, I hope it won't get to the players' heads.
What do you think of Tito? And I mean, we'll wrap it up. And the flair. I mean, I was listening to an interview of his with the Bucks camp, and he was talking about how he's encouraged, from his teammates and the coach to say, you can put a bit of sugar there. You don't always have to be serious. Encouraging players like that.
It happens to most of us. Even me as a footballer, I used to tell the guys that when we win the toss and it's our kickoff, can I just get the feel of the ball? Then I get into the second gear, then third gear. As a footballer, there's something that works for you, there's something that doesn't work for you. For Maswangai to do what he does, he gets himself into the second gear and he gets himself into the game. The crowd loves it. And with me, my skill was always, whenever I caught the ball, I knew, let me make the fans happy. I will hit it, turn around, clap for them while the ball is traveling. By the time I turn around, my player is we are on transition.
Yeah.
So you as a person, there's something, man, that works for you. So with me, I knew that it's more like a superstition. Every time we walked onto the field before kickoff, I would step on my right foot first.
Yeah.
And as soon as I approach the line and I can see that I'm going to step with my left first,
Yeah.
I would rather adjust because I'm in front, there's 10 players coming behind me. So I need to make sure that I adjust, step on my right foot first.
Yeah.
Then I know that I've ticked, I've ticked that box. Then I get there, I knew I needed to do my moves.
Of course.
And then God is great. Then I get the crowd going.
Yeah.
Khune. I'm in the game already.
Tuned on.
Then first touch, pass out. Let's push out. I am on gear number 3, gear number 4. So with Maswanganyi, I heard that the coach gives him permission to do that. Because if he doesn't do it, he doesn't get into the match, into the mix of things. But as soon as he goes on top of it, the crowd cheers, he gets into the game.
Yeah.
So it happens. But sometimes what I can criticize him on is he does that going backwards.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why a lot of people have problems with him doing that.
Yeah.
do it going forward,
Yeah.
then everyone will
I've
be
said
on
that
his
a
side.
million times.
No, he does
You
it going
can't
backwards.
dribble
And
going backwards.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You can't.
Now, just as a follow-up, you've played with guys like
At this
Tseke.
point, we're going to have eaten until 2 hours. This must be your last question.
Players like Abu Tseke, I think the biggest one will be Skara Ngwabese, Mujabu, Skapi, and Junior Kanye. And at times, especially Skara, at times, don't you, when they're infuriating that, Ishman, we need to move, but you are busy doing your stuff there, or as you say, it was a way of them expressing themselves and maybe getting other teammates to get into a game.
Yeah, it's best when you do it, but going forward. Affect the game. But if you're going to do it going backwards and they intercept that ball, what happens next?
Yeah.
You
Skara
can
do
see.
that thing, yeah.
So the reason why Coach Ernst Medendorp released Skara from Chiefs, it was because of that. There was a counter-attack against Manchester United when we were still playing Vodacom Challenge. Then Skara stood with the ball while everyone was transitioning forward. Then he did this, then he went backwards while everyone was going the opposite direction. And what happened?
And then Bamaga.
We got into the changing room. He was going crazy.
Yeah.
He was going crazy, throwing things around, saying, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We should have scored with that opportunity. But you decided to stand on the ball and then go backwards. And that was the last time Skara played for Chiefs.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Last one. Who's going
Are you
to the
going to
final?
ask him about my Baroka moment? About my Baroka moment?
Your Baroka moment. You ask him. Like, but a Nedbank Cup final prediction.
All the 4 teams that have qualified to the semis, I think they deserve to be where they are.
Yeah.
I can't really say Chiefs, or Pirates, Sundowns, or Marumo, but the final is going to be nice because all the 4 teams deserve to be where they are, and they also deserve to be in the final. So all I can say is may the best teams win. And qualify for the final. It's going to be a spectacle for South African football.
It definitely is. How's the content creation with the Nedbank as well? Because I see you create a bit of content.
Hey,
and
we
I'm
are
like,
busy.
hey,
We are
you
busy at
man.
Nedbank. We are busy at Nedbank.
Yeah.
We are trying to push a whole lot of other things because even the past 2 days we were shooting another content for a dance. They are incorporating investment in it. So as we dance, we are also encouraging people to say, you know what, go into banking space, open yourself a saving account, you know, because investment is more important, you know, for the future of yourself, your husband, your girlfriend, your kids. So we try to say, you know what, you can dance, but while you are at groove, know that your finances need to be sorted for the future. Yes.
No, I like that. Baroka moment, then we are done.
What happened, Kubarok?
He's been
You
telling the story
remember
the whole week.
when you guys lost to Baroka in the
Nedbank Cup.
Nedbank Cup? Yeah. I don't know if you remember.
I remember very well. I got first goal was scored Kakon.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes,
So what
Knowledge Musona scored.
Yeah,
And we were like, we're cruising nicely, we're going to win Boma 5. You know. Then there was a corner kick, and I moved a player from the near post, and I said, go stand there.
Yeah.
Because we were 1 man down. So there was no one outside the box. And remember,
The one
Paladi.
Palani.
Lanchani, short yag.
Yeah.
So ka vele ka ntsha motho mo paleng ke re punch masena meletso afa o ye kwa o dula so le Lanchani. Only to find out ha ya kwa bolo ha ikwa. E korua mo tswang teng. At half time we get to the changing room, coach is shouting at Punch, I put you here, you decided to move, and I was like, coach, I'm the one. It's me. And at the time, half-time score was 1-1 again.
Yeah.
Then they got the second goal in the second half. I didn't know what hit us there.
Yeah.
Like Negisa Kopanelu.
So-
So we are going to win 5. Easy.
So what you don't remember is that I was actually in the middle of all that team because I was behind the scenes there. I remember even when we were standing
Yeah.
by the tunnel.
By the time-
Yeah, because I knew these things from Sundowns. You must just try to intimidate them. So I was shouting, the boys, you must kick it. Was Pusha?
Easy win.
Yeah, it was just one of those funny moments, you know.
Yeah, but that's what's nice about Nedbank. It's the most
Unpredictable.
unpredictable tournament because it's full of surprises. It's full of surprises, and Kaizer Chiefs has suffered more
most.
defeats against
Small teams.
from second division, third division. And it's because we go into the game thinking we're a big club, they are scared of us. Only to find out they come to the matches highly motivated
course.
to say, hey, I think I'm better than Itu. And if I can perform in this match, I will take his position at Chiefs.
For sure. Contract
So
is coming up
players,
soon.
they come hungry when they play against big teams. But big teams must also show that they are big teams by winning convincingly.
No, 100%. And that's where we're going to leave it, because otherwise we'll chill for a good 2 hours with this
You
man.
don't want my prediction for the final?
No, we don't need it. We need this. I'm joking. What's your prediction?
Well, I love to dream. I think a good final or a better final will be
The derby.
Sundowns Pirates.
You want Sundowns Pirates at the final. All right, you let us know who
And
you...
we'll have Chiefs Maroon.
But a derby also can make for a brilliant. A derby can make for a brilliant final. Yeah.
Yeah, no, anything could possibly happen. Let us know who you're backing. Who do you think will make it to the Nedbank Cup final? We'd definitely love to hear from you. But that's how we wrap it up. It's been absolutely fantastic. Hopefully you enjoyed the show as much as we did. But from all of us, cheers, goodbye.